Think about it. Why would the leader of the world's most powerful nation fixate on buying a remote ice-covered island? Was it truly just an eccentric real estate developer's instinct, or something far more strategic? By the end of this video, you'll understand how Greenland functions as a hidden ace in the high-stakes poker game of global politics. The island represents a perfect storm of geopolitical advantages that extend beyond its frozen terrain. You'll discover why Trump's interest, though awkwardly expressed, resonated with serious considerations within America's national security establishment, from strategic positioning to resource competition. Elements we'll examine throughout this exploration. The $2.8 trillion island, Greenland's mineral wealth. Have you ever wondered what makes a remote, ice-covered island worth potentially trillions of dollars to the world's most powerful nation? Beneath Greenland's vast ice sheets lies something far more valuable than frozen tundra. A geological treasure chest that's captured the attention of global superpowers. Greenland sits atop one of the world's richest untapped reserves of rare earth elements and critical minerals. These essential building blocks power virtually every piece of modern technology. The circuit boards in laptops, magnets in headphones, touch screens in tablets, batteries powering electric vehicles, and guidance systems in advanced missile defense all depend on these specialized minerals that Greenland possesses in abundance. Like a massive vault protected by a frozen barrier, Greenland's mineral wealth has remained largely untouched. Geological surveys estimate these deposits could be worth up to $4.4 trillion, a figure that would transform this Danish territory into one of the world's resource powerhouses. The European Commission identifies 25 critical raw materials in Greenland essential for industrial production, including neodymium, praseodymium, and dysprosium. The Ilulissat complex in southern Greenland contains the world's second-largest deposit of rare earth oxides and the sixth-largest deposit of uranium. However, practical challenges create a significant gap between theoretical and extractable value. While the potential reaches trillions, more grounded economic analysis places the extractable reserves at approximately $186 billion. Thick ice sheets, covering 80% of the island, prohibitively expensive extraction costs, environmental concerns, infrastructure limitations, and the technical difficulties of operating in such a remote location all constrain development. This geological reality has profound geopolitical implications, especially considering China's current dominance in the global rare earth mineral supply chain. Beijing controls approximately 60% of rare earth production and an even higher percentage of processing capacity. This creates a precarious strategic vulnerability for Western nations, who depend on a geopolitical rival for resources critical to both civilian technology and military applications. Climate change, while devastating in many respects, is making these resources more accessible. As Greenland's ice sheet gradually melts, previously inaccessible mineral deposits become reachable. Mining companies are securing exploration rights in areas completely ice-covered just decades ago. The Kvanefjeld project alone could potentially supply 25% of global rare earth oxide demand if fully developed. For the United States, securing access to these minerals represents a matter of national security and technological sovereignty. As military systems become more sophisticated and clean energy technologies expand, reliance on foreign sources for critical minerals poses an increasing vulnerability. The Department of Defense has identified reliable access to these materials as essential for maintaining military readiness and technological advantage. Arctic chess, Greenland's strategic military and commercial position. The mineral wealth beneath Greenland's ice is impressive, but in the high-stakes game of global power projection, location trumps resources. As the Pentagon frequently notes, in the Arctic, geography is destiny, and Greenland's strategic position between North America, Europe, and Russia makes it a prized chess piece on a board where every move counts. This massive island sits at the gateway to emerging Arctic shipping lanes that could revolutionize global commerce. As climate change accelerates ice melt in the region, new navigable passages are appearing that could slash transit times between major global markets by more than a third. A vessel traveling from Rotterdam to Tokyo via these northern routes could save nearly 4,000 nautical miles, compared to the traditional Suez Canal route, transforming shipping economics and strategic calculations alike. Recent incidents like the 2021 Suez Canal blockage highlight the vulnerability of traditional shipping lanes and the potential value of Arctic alternatives. America's military footprint in Greenland centers around the Patuxent Space Base in the Northwest region. The Pentagon's assertion that geography is destiny manifests physically here, where sophisticated ballistic missile early warning systems form a crucial component of North American defense infrastructure. Though its name changed from the Cold War-era Thule Air Base, its mission remains critical, providing the technological eyes and ears that help protect an entire continent. Russia isn't standing idle. Moscow has been methodically rebuilding its northern military capabilities, investing heavily in airbase construction, developing new naval facilities, and significantly upgrading its submarine fleet. This Arctic militarization creates a compelling strategic imperative for the United States to maintain its presence in the region, with Greenland serving as the cornerstone of any effective Arctic strategy. China has entered this frozen competition despite having no Arctic coastline. Beijing's self-designation as a near-Arctic state and the Polar Silk Road Initiative signal intentions to establish northern trade routes bypassing traditional maritime choke points controlled by the US and allies. Whoever influences Greenland gains significant leverage over China's northern ambitions. For military planners, Greenland serves as a strategic buffer for North America. The island functions much as it did during the Cold War, when early warning systems provided crucial minutes of advance notice against potential Soviet missile strikes. Today, with Russian submarines patrolling beneath thinning Arctic ice and Chinese ambitions expanding northward, this protective function has gained renewed significance. The strategic calculus becomes clearer when examining basic geography. The shortest route between North America and Europe runs directly through Greenland, making it an unavoidable waypoint for transatlantic movement. This positioning grants the island outsized importance for military mobility, intelligence gathering, and commercial shipping, three pillars of global power projection. Control over Greenland would effectively mean dominance over the emerging Arctic shipping superhighways that promise to reshape global trade patterns. America's Arctic ambition, a century-long quest. As nations compete for Arctic dominance today, they're participating in a geopolitical game that began over 150 years ago. What most Americans don't realize about Trump's Greenland proposal is that it wasn't an impulsive real estate grab, but rather the latest chapter in America's remarkably consistent Arctic strategy, one that spans multiple centuries and administrations. American acquisition attempts of Greenland follow a clear historical pattern. Secretary of State William Seward initiated this strategy in 1868, offering Denmark $5.5 million just 1 year after purchasing Alaska from Russia. Nearly 8 decades later, President Truman made an even bolder move, proposing $100 million in 1946, equivalent to approximately $12.9 billion today. Each bid emphasized identical national security imperatives despite the vastly different eras, showing how deeply Arctic dominance has anchored American geopolitical thinking. When Denmark consistently rejected these proposals, America adapted. Following World War II, as Greenland's strategic value became undeniable, the U.S. secured the next best option: permanent military access through the 1951 Defensive Greenland Agreement. This arrangement has endured for over 7 decades, becoming a cornerstone of U.S. security policy across parties and administrations. From protecting shipping lanes during naval warfare to establishing defensive perimeters during the Cold War to securing new trade routes today, the fundamental calculation has remained unchanged. The consistency of this strategic thinking across different historical periods demonstrates how deeply embedded Arctic dominance has been in America's geopolitical consciousness. Trump's approach marked a significant departure from this historical continuity. While previous negotiations occurred through quiet diplomatic channels, Trump's interest erupted into public view, complete with canceled state visits and provocative statements. His justifications blended traditional security concerns with explicit economic rationales, reflecting his background in real estate. Most strikingly, Trump introduced threats of tariffs against Denmark and comments suggesting potential military pressure, tactics that shattered the diplomatic precedent established by previous administrations. Meanwhile, Greenland has been developing its own vision. Prime Minister Mute Borup has firmly rejected any notion of a sale. Greenland is ours. We are Kalaallit. The Americans and their leader must understand that. We are not for sale. This declaration reflects Greenland's growing independence movement, reshaping its relationships with both the United States and Denmark. Currently, Denmark provides Greenland with a substantial $600 million annual subsidy. However, many Greenlanders view this support as transitional rather than permanent. Aged advocates for Greenland to determine its own future, potentially including full independence. This evolving self-determination creates new possibilities. While outright purchase seems impossible, collaborative economic partnerships could benefit both parties. Greenland gains investment while reducing dependence on Danish subsidies, and America secures influence in this strategically vital region without the complications of territorial acquisition. As we move deeper into the 21st century, Greenland emerges as a central battleground in the new great power competition, defined by two crucial pillars: unmatched strategic positioning and extraordinary resource wealth. Whoever secures influence here gains a pivotal advantage in the evolving Arctic order. Greenland's treasury of critical minerals makes it an essential prize in global resource security, housing a concentration of elements vital for modern technology and defense industries. As Arctic ice retreats, both Greenland's resource accessibility and its strategic position along emerging shipping routes will appreciate in value. Like a keystone in the arch of global politics, how will this Arctic prize reshape the balance of power? Watch carefully. Greenland's transformation may define the coming Arctic century. Hit the subscribe button and like this video for more geopolitical breakdowns made simple and truth behind the headlines.